1,000 listeners here. I hope you're all doing well. I am in. Um, uh, it's a little bit rainy outside right now. Again, still just waiting for a little bit more people to come in. Um, Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. We also have some co-hosts on this one. We've got Wall Street Custodian, an incredible co-host. We also have Winter, and she uses my classic shooting the shorts emoji, which just has to do totally with water sports and swimwear. Thank you, everybody. It has been a journey, as it has been for Vinco for quite a while, and I think a net beautiful one at that. And it's been so great to get to know everybody in the community. It's been so incredible to talk with people, to DM people. I know Mohammed Mia. I tried helping him get his Twitter account back, but Twitter said no, unfortunately. But we tried, and then some other people I was able to help, and we ended up pulling through on all that front. So I mean, it's been some incredible people here, like Lauren Ross here. We've also got some Magic Site, if I'm pronouncing his username correctly, that I've also had a lot of great conversations with, amongst many others. So, okay, good. We've crossed over the 1,000 mark. I think that was mainly all the other people that RSVP'd. Again, thank you so much for just this being one of the best communities ever. I have to say, I mean, I don't think anyone does due diligence like this community. I don't think anyone has optimism like this community does. And I think without Vinco, I mean, you guys, without you guys, I mean, I don't know what Vinco would be. And again, it's been just such an incredible community. But to get down to kind of the main meat of what I was saying was earlier this week I flew to the Vinco offices, and I had some incredible meetings. And it was really, there was just, there was people there, and it was exciting, and quite a blast. And again, I met with people, and is just absolutely incredible. And I had a lot of conversations, just kind of what had previously happened, and a lot of conversations, of kind of getting back on track onto things. Many people have said people could make a movie out of this company, and it is an incredible movie to be made. And to be blunt, I did talk about. I said, "Hey, I would be really interested in, doing stuff. Doing some stuff in many directions." And we talked about it for a while, and we ended up coming to the conclusion that I think that the best way that I can help Vinco Ventures, incredible Vinco Ventures, a company that I've have literally, I don't see any. I just see such a beautiful future, wonderful future for Vinco. I mean, it really is, in my opinion, one of the best companies. And I think the best conclusion that I came to was I want to be able to have the freedom to go and buy up shares of Vinco Ventures, not in any controversial way or anything, but I just want to buy shares of Vinco Ventures. And a lot of people had rumored that that was something that I want to do, but that is what I think I'm going to be doing in the next couple weeks. And so, to be clear, I will not be at Vinco Ventures. To be clear, I will not be at ZVV. To be clear, I will not be at Zash Media, and I'm not there currently. But in the coming weeks, I plan to buy some shares of Vinco Ventures, and be maybe a shareholder. Actually, not maybe. I will be a shareholder of this company, and make it so there's no conflicts of interest, no worries about future this, future that, and all that. But just put my money where my mouth is, put skin in the game, and buy some shares up. And I hope to get a lot of shares on the market. So I mean, I plan to. That is my goal. That is my plan. People have said, Eric, you got to have skin in the game. Eric, you have to put your money where my mouth is. So here it is. That is my announcement. And I may join some future space calls. I may, have discussions with some of you, but this will be my last kind of big Vinco Ventures space call here. And I feel like, I literally see no better future of the company. All is set ahead, as you can see clearly, for a great future. So that is what I came here to announce. In the coming weeks, I plan to add up shares in my portfolio to this company, and because I just personally have never been more excited about this company. I mean, I think I really haven't been. I've always been excited about this company, but I am really excited about this company, and I'm putting skin in the game. I'm putting money. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm excited to go forward as one of you guys. It is really no better honor. So now I plan to take some questions. We have. I told Wall Street Custodian. I said think of some questions, and then also find some questions off of Twitter. And then also Winter, if you have any thoughts or anything as well. So yeah, question time.
Hey, thanks, Eric. Before we even go any further, it seems Months was booted from the call. Is there any reason? Can we get him back in here? Is there a reason
I
for
have
that?
not. I have not booted him. I swear in my life. I don't know how to boot
No,
somebody
yeah,
on
of
here.
course, yeah,
So I don't know if that
yeah. I don't
was
either.
one of you guys. I don't know how to add someone if they were booted. But anyone that had booted Months, I denounce. I denounce any booting
I
of Months.
I may have him blocked. Let me check.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just unblock him if you can. I mean,
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
let's try to get
absolutely,
everybody on here.
absolutely, absolutely. That's a number one first thing. Okay, so I have a question, Eric. So let me ask you this: how close are you with Ted? Did you meet with Ted just this past couple of days, like you said? And that also being said, does what's his role in the company? A lot of people are curious about that. I'm very curious.
Yeah, absolutely. So I met Ted for the first time on Monday. I think in months. Definitely in months. And I have not talked to Ted also in months as well. And I have not had other people really, that are kind of close with Ted really talk to me. And I mean that's it. I mean I've met, overall I've really only met Ted a few times and a few hours, and probably it would just end up maybe being, I don't know, like maybe if you added up all the hours to go hours together, maybe it's a day in total. I think I've spent with Ted and all of that. But I mean, it's I don't have, I don't have, you know, I'm not. I think Ted would say I'm not his best friend, and I don't think we're each other's best friends or anything. But I have, I think Ted obviously has a position, and people saw that SEC report, and and in the beginning this was kind of his vision, and and I'm excited to see his vision play out, and get everything done amongst all the other people that work at Vinco's vision, and see that play out. But yeah, I mean, Ted and I are I think far from being best friends. I have not talked to Ted other than this past Monday for months. And I think that was just to let's cool the temperature down, and think about a positive future. And I think and frankly, I think that's uh, you know shout out to Ross and Gabe. I want to cool the temperature with them too, and amongst other things, and other people in the community like Mr. Rick and all these people. I mean, I think a house divided cannot stand, and I think that was the purpose of seeing. Hey, this past Monday. Hey, I know I haven't talked with you in a while, Eric. But it's let's make peace. Let's move forward. Let's have a positive vision of the future, and then and let's do that with everyone. And then I have the mindset to do that with everyone else. So that's my answer to that question.
Okay, so another one. Uh, we all saw Ross Miller's tweets today. Do you have a response to that? Like, I just asked it this straight blunt like that. Yeah.
I mean, I think Ross is, I get that he's frustrated. I've been at points where I've been frustrated too, And, I think it's perfectly fair for Ross to, to say his piece. I mean, I think I saw he jumped in here. I don't know if he's still on here, but he jumped in and out real quick. But, shout out to Ross. I thanked him for his time as the court appointed CEO. And from my understanding, the court appointed CEO, just looking at the documents, was meant to kind of get in, and then once the suit was over, get out, was my understanding. And I don't have any hard feelings. And it's up to him if he wants to say his piece, or not. And if he wants to say his piece about me or other people, that's fine. I'm a big boy, and I can
Yep.
take it. But ultimately, I say to all the people, I think it is maybe not productive now at this point, to just be constantly tweeting at Ross, one way or the other, or other people. I mean, I think there's people like Erik Noble, who's a great guy. He's on Twitter a lot. There's some people that work at the company that are on Twitter, obviously. But I think Noble is a pretty active person on Twitter. Some of these other people, aren't as active on Twitter, or anything. But yeah,
Noble's a
I
great
mean,
guy.
yeah, he
Noble's a
is.
great guy.
Noble's a great guy. So I have no hard feelings towards anyone at all, whether that be Ross, Gabe, or Ted, and all that. And I truly wish them the best. I do. I think Nevada is an exciting place to be. And so far it seems that Ross has had a great career in Nevada, so far. So I mean, shout out to him. And my goal is just to say, hey, let's a house divided cannot fall here. So shout out to Ross. I wish him the best. And I'm also not at Vinco or Zash or ZVV either, if that makes them feel any better. So I mean, it's my goal is just to kind of be a shareholder in the future, and I'm going to be buying up Vinco stock in the coming weeks, and enjoying that.
Cool. I want to give Lauren Ross a second. I think he's like
Yeah.
I look to him as like the leader of this.
Yeah, no.
He's just such a good guy, and like to me, I look up to him a lot. He's just a great guy. I want him to ask a question. But also, guys, just let you know, I see 100. I'm getting so many messages. I just picked out 2 that you guys just sent. So there's a lot of you guys send me questions to ask, but those 2 popped out at me, so I asked Eric those 2. But okay, Lauren, go for it.
Hey, Eric, how's it going?
Hey, Lauren, how's it
Good,
going?
man. Hey, one thing I want to see if you can give us a little light on now that you're a shareholder and you're going to be buying shares. Um, one of the major issues that retail's had and has had for quite some time now is the silentness we get from management. And you were with them on the weekend, like you said, and you're also a CEO of Zash for a few months. Can you give retail any light on why the lack of communication and why management is so silent? Do you have any light that you can share with retail on that?
Here, one second. I just conspiracy theories. I'm just at my apartment, and my girlfriend needs the door open.
I
But I'm sure there'll be conspiracy theories about that.
I'd like to elaborate a little bit
but,
on it, if you don't
Oh,
mind.
yeah, no worries. I mean,
I
so to be clear on that, Frank, I wish Twitter Spaces had video. By the way, I miss Periscope on here. Yeah, I mean, so far from my understanding, I think if you look at the recent kind of release, they have hired, I believe, a investor relations or a spokesperson or something like that, for Vinco, and all of that. And I think, you look at Erik Noble, he's been pretty active on Twitter. Ted, I do believe, looks at his Twitter and has been fairly active in the past. But I mean, I think you look at Noble. I think you look at me when I was Ash CEO. I mean, I think you look at Ross and Gabe, for the most part, we're pretty communicative. And I think now you have Noble. I think now you have this spokesperson. And I think, people can tweet. And then I think someone, emails are shared, amongst other things. And personally, what I would like to see, is just, it's one thing to say things, but it's another to get stuff done, and that's a point that I kind of hit a lot on all that front, and I think I think that they have to get Q2 done. They have to get Q3. I mean, they have to release Q2. They have to release Q3, and they have to upgrade all this stuff. So I mean, I think that I don't I don't see Vinco being particularly quiet soon enough. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does, but I'm just something that's always been kind of, and if you look at the last month or the last month and a half, retail confidence has dropped drastically, and I can feel that daily just on the retail space on Twitter. And I'm hoping with yourself investing into the company and being a shareholder moving forward that having skin in the game, we can you can stand with us and hopefully push for more communication and transparency.
I mean, I think that Vinco management, I think knows that they can't be uncommunicative. I mean, I think that's clear. So, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you hear a lot more from them. As you see, I think they hired a spokesperson on all that front, and then again, communication plus action. I don't see how they don't do that in the future, or much more in the future.
It's just kind of somebody just sent this across my way. I don't know if you can answer this, Eric, but does management also understand? There's a guy in the community. I think his name is Electnomics. He posts some great DD and technical analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Do they understand how important this next options chain coming in? Like, if they truly want to be on shareholders' side, like if they truly are turning a page, like they got to get things moving, get press releases, because we have an amazing options chain coming up in January. It's unbelievably loaded, and it could really help the price get up. It really can. Are they aware of it? I mean, that's something that just came across. Somebody just asked me. It's a really good question.
I don't know one way or the other if they're aware of it. Maybe they are, and it's their entire focus, or one of their top focuses. I don't know on that question. I wish I could answer that.
I kind of figured you couldn't answer that, Derek. I just figured I'd ask it because it's a good question.
Erik, would you be willing to bring speakers up?
I've invited some speakers. I don't know if it's working. I invited Hugh. If I'm saying his name, I invited Skycam, and all of that. I think my first space call I did was 3 hours. This isn't going to be a 3-hour Twitter space call. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to take a few more questions here, and then kind of say kind of my final thing on the space call. And then I think if I'm gonna see if I end it, if the space stays alive with the co-host, and if it does not, then I guess it does not. But yeah, I'm happy to take a few more questions here, but again, it's not going to be 3 hours. As much as I wish I had the time.
Thank you, Erik.
Hi, Eddie. How are you?
Oh, hey, the man, the myth, the legend. How's it going?
Good, sir. How are you?
Doing well. Yourself, sir?
I'm good. I'm doing good. I'm buying more shares every week. Let me ask one question, Eddie. Do you think, as a businessman, do you not think they have a lot of conflicts of interest between Ted and all these people they come into the company, and at the end we don't know how much money they get from Sash, from Vinco Venture and to Sash, and they never report anything, or they never put anything how they did the deal to buy from Vinco to buy Sash? We wanted to know where is all the money go, or something about that money, about what Ted is been doing with the money, with the financial, why we wanted to dilute this again the shares. I wanted to ask you like a really hard question. I don't want it to be like, yeah, you're going to be part of us, but when you're going to be part of us, you're going to start suffering what we have been talking long time ago, that they not say anything, and then later we can see how we spend so much money and money for you, or in a lot of access, they at the end no was profitable, and they spend all the money, and we lend the money like we are a bank, and we never get anything back. You know, I wanted to hear what is your opinion about that, about what state was doing all this.
It's cutting in and out, but I think I did get the gist of it. And thank you, my friend. It's a totally fair question. From my understanding, Vinco and Zash were, for the most part, always going to merge, and not that I say I backed this, but I think this was 2 years ago, so I don't even, if I understand the story of Vinco Ventures and Zash correctly, is that both were always set to merge, and both were. Yeah, both were set to merge, and then there was kind of money exchanges, involved in that because they were set to merge, and now they're merging. So, I mean, I think if you want to, kind of ask for like an accounting, I think an accounting would be great, a public accounting of things. I think that always settles things. But that's just kind of me riffing, I guess, as a shareholder now. But from my understanding, that is they were always kind of set to merge, and that was the plan. And I think that's what, to some extent, maybe yes, maybe not, was kind of desirable, to merge. And again, I'm not here to like defend. I'm not here to like defend or promote a merger or anything. Sorry. But I think that's my understanding of the story of Vinco Ventures and Zash. And I think that in my opinion, it's important for those assets to kind of combine into one. And if you disagree with it, hey, I think people can find the board's emails, and the board's Twitter accounts, and talk to this, also this new spokesperson as well, and let your voice be heard. I'm going to let my voice be heard.
No, what I was trying to ask is why they use our money to buy Lomotif and put it on such name. That's why they get confused. If they're going to merge with us, why they not buy half on when his own money and we buy half with our money? Because they're not going to have a conflict of interest. We all putting money to buy something, and no what's like that. They use our money to bring all the assets.
I mean, that I think the Lomotif acquisition was a long time ago, on that front. So I can't really tell what the Lomotif acquisition and why they did Zash, why they did Vinco and all that. But from my understanding, that 40% is if not already done, is a part of Vinco, on that front, according to the SEC report. So but I think I feel like these past couple weeks have kind of been the point of forcing them to get stuff done. And I kind of joked with people, operation, get stuff done. And then that was, I think a lot of stuff is you saw, the merger announcement was a part of that, but I think that we put the appropriate amount of pressure on them to get stuff done, and I think not just on the CEO and president, but also the board, as well. I think that was really important, and I think I'm choosing to go and buy Vinco Venture stock, because I believe that they will get stuff done. I believe that this past couple weeks has forced their hand, to get stuff done. And, and that's why I started off with, some exciting, fun music, on that stuff in order, because I feel hopeful and optimistic that the stuff got done. I mean, I have staked a lot, on making sure that this company is successful. And I now putting my money where my mouth is, in that I believe that this company will be successful. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. I will take 3 more questions, by the way. I do not have a ton of time. I will take one from Skycam, and then Winter and Wall Street. I will let you choose. Magic Site. I will take one from you, and then it'll be Russian roulette on who's the third person.
Erik, what's going on, my friend?
How's it going?
Going well. Grinding over here. Good to hear from you. So my question is more around visibility just into compliance. I know you probably were going to get a question around Q2 and Q3 specifically. And because prior to acquisition, I'm sure as CEO of Zash, like you had visibility into financials, right? Being that it was a joint venture. In your opinion, it's been, how long has it been, Erik, since you've been out of there now? Like a couple weeks, right?
Could you repeat that last sentence there?
You left what, 2 weeks ago? Was it 3 weeks? I can't even remember how long ago it was now.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Either way.
What was the exact question?
So specifically around compliance in Q2 and Q3 earnings, because ZVV, pre-acquisition, of course, has financial insight to the Vinco Venture side of things, being that you were the CEO of Zash. In your opinion, now that you've left, what has been some of the delays, if you can disclose some of that?
I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose, okay. And I know that answer makes people unhappy, but I think a lot of the delays have been publicly viewable.
Sure.
To say the least. I think the Colucci thing was the biggest delay on that front, and I think that was kind of the main one, and then kind of a little bit of the fallout from that caused some delays, and you look at a company of people. I mean, it's that obviously puts stress on people and amongst all people. Not just people at the company. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of what, in my opinion, slowed everything down. And I think people can see that it did slow things down. I think Vinco was operating, was not missing deadlines, and was being on deadlines on time, and until the Colucci stuff. And then, the Colucci stuff and the fallout from the Colucci stuff is now over, and then now that's why, again, I'm putting my money where my mouth is and buying up Vinco stock.
Sure. Well, happy to have you, my man. And then the last quick question would be, surprised that you don't have some level of leadership position, frankly, going into this call. I know you would have been a voice for retail if given the opportunity. So if offered a role of some kind, I don't know, CMO, some type of operational type role, whether that be in product, what have you, right? I worked for LinkedIn for the last 4 years, so whatever those departments may be.
That's amazing.
Yeah, great company. Would you take it? Would you take that opportunity?
My goal is I just want to be a shareholder.
Cool.
At this point, I think that's my goal, and honestly, people in this community, like yourself, I believe Vinco has job openings. I think people like yourself should apply. I'm happy to put in a good word for you on that front, and anyone else that is from this community that wants to apply for jobs at Vinco. And I think that I think they're focused on their hiring on that front. And I think there's temporarily hiring freeze, but I think that there's still job applications you can apply for. And I'd be happy to put a good word in for you and anyone else in the community.
Thanks, Erik. Appreciate your time, man.
Cool. No worries. Magic Site.
How you doing, my man? We finally buried the hatchet, eh?
Yes. All good on my front. It was fun DMing you earlier.
Oh man, I feel bad for the razzing of you in the past, but I'm glad we shook hands. It's awesome to be on your team here. I got to ask you, maybe, I guess it's not a sensitive question. It's 2 questions, depending on how you answer the first one, because I'm trying to trap you.
No worries.
First question. How much faith do you have in the accuracy of the original investor prospectus from Vinco and the one from Cryptide? Do you have a lot of faith in how accurate they are, or none?
I have faith. I have faith that they are accurate. In my opinion, in my belief, I have to preface it with that. But no, I think they are accurate. Yes.
That is interesting. Now, the next one. Would you state that your relationship to developers in the Lemotive side, and I will name Nexus Holdings because they are in prospectus, is it a good relationship?
I don't really want to comment on my relationship with the developers over at Lemotive. I will publicly say, yeah, I think they're fine. That's my public kind of statement on that. And I also don't want to, bring up kind of Vinco employees. Like it's fine to talk about management, right? But I don't
Exactly.
I don't want to bring up Vinco employees and kind of kind of shout them out anyway because people find their Twitter accounts and their LinkedIn's and all that shit. So.
Oh, I would never want that. No, I just like getting to the source of growth, because as much as there's one side of investors that really look forward to financial disclosures and getting to the bottom of, there's definitely was some corruption in the past to sort out. I'm always leaning on the side of, I like looking at the future and the growth. And I mean, when I look at AI, and I know you're deeply embedded in AI, how excited are you for that?
Yeah, I mean, I think
pumped.
AI is one of the best. The most. I mean, it's incredible how fast AI technology has gone on recently, and the ability to kind of use that for, particularly like video apps like Lemotive. I mean, is incredible. I mean, imagine being able to just type and a video gets created that is, looks like real life. I mean, looks like Avatar too. I mean, that's incredible. And just be able to type that out. I mean, that's what you're looking at as the future for these type of apps on that front.
So basically, you'd be saying that you'd be absolutely stoked to see some 3D immersive experience finally launching with Lomo and get Lomo USA going and really, really ramp up the efforts.
I am one of the biggest believers in Lemotive. I think this is the perfect time for Lemotive. I will continue loving Lemotive on that front. I mean, I think it's I think Lemotive is it just has so much potential. And that was one of the things that we one of the most amazing things that during my tenure as Ash CEO that I kind of wanted to work on the most, and what I witnessed was great, and added my feedback to, and then I was making docs of what you guys' feedback was on that front, and kind of sending that to them. So I mean, it's incredible. And some of that got fixed, and I think I hope to see more of that stuff get fixed and addressed. I mean, it's amazing. So. But yeah, no, thank you, Magic Site. Those are all great questions.
Hey,
I will take one last question.
Finn, not really a question.
One last question.
Sorry, man.
I think Wall Street Custodian, you unmuted yourself.
I'm getting so many questions asked, and I brought some people up. I tried to, guys, I just want to say thanks to Erik too, because the original plan was no co-host, then we convinced him to have some people, and now he wound up staying and chatting. So I do appreciate, Erik, that you did that. This is unexpected, and I respect you for it. You got some tough questions coming too, but here's one that I'm curious about, and I saw two people ask it to me. Are you going to be helping? Because listen, Lomo needs work. And I'm going to assume that they know they got to fix this thing to get this thing cranking to compete with TikTok and take our share of the pie. As a shareholder now, are you going to help us get Lomo everywhere with all your connections you have? You have some big connections, Are you going to help us get that blasted out everywhere? That's
to any journalist, and I talked about this with people. I said my journalist my journalist contact book is totally yours if you want to ever use it, if you ever want to need it. I have people in mind on that front. When I was Ash CEO, I had a ton of people in mind on that front, and that my total and complete address book in regards to contacting journalists. I mean, you look at it recently, TikTok has been spying on Forbes journalists. I mean, it's horrible. And accessing their data. I mean, this is the time for Lemotive. So my address book for Lemotive is completely open when I'm on. When I'm even just doing, let's say I'm doing an interview about anything else, I will plug Lemotive. I love Lemotive. That is my favorite, I'd say, asset of this company. I absolutely love it. And again, that's the biggest. I don't think without Lemotive I would be, putting putting skin in the game into this company, and have cared so much about this company. I mean, AdRiser is great. All the other assets are great. But obviously you sometimes have a favorite child, even if you don't want to admit it. And Lemotive is absolutely my most favorite asset of Vinco Ventures. And thank you so much for asking that question. I will wrap up now. It has been quite the ride, everybody.
Erik, can you take another question? 2 questions, one from Jake and one from retail. Rudy,
DM it to me and I can answer, and you can screenshot from there. I'm wrapping up and all of that. But thank you, Winter. I appreciate it. If you literally, if those 2 people want to DM me, they can DM me on that front. Or if I don't, if my DMs are not open to them for some reason, just have them ask you the question, then I'll answer the question, and you could screenshot it. But thank you, everybody. Thank you for the ride of a lifetime. I'm excited to load up in shares in the next couple weeks. I know when everyone on this calls, they expect the entire planet Earth on these space calls. But I just wanted to tell everybody kind of my position, and I cannot wait.
Can you give us a good reason why we should trust you?
Yes, I mean I think I've been very honest on the truth on that front. On there, but I mean, this was my last question. So, anyways, thank you so much, everyone. I'm excited to be loading up on Vinco shares. I've never been more excited about Vinco Ventures. It has been quite the journey. I am so pumped. I am jacked about this. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to both the haters and the lovers. Thank you, everybody, and the fans. Thank you. You guys are the best community in the world, and I'm excited to be a part of it and load up in the next couple weeks. And if anyone wants to ask me anything, feel free to reach out. I love all of you, even Mr. Rick, even all of them. I love all of you. Y'all are good people. I repeat, I have never been more excited about Vinco Ventures than I am now. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one, and good night.
BBIG.